Good evening from high atop the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Dan Lucero with you with a quick instant reaction after the Kansas Jayhawks advance to the semifinals of the 2023 Big 12 Basketball Championship Tournament after a 78-61 victory over West Virginia this afternoon. KU will take on Iowa State, the number 5 seed who upset 4th seed Baylor earlier today. That'll be a 6:03 tip-off scheduled for tomorrow night in Kansas City. The day started with somber news for Kansas basketballs. It was announced that head coach Bill Self had to be admitted to the hospital and would not be coaching the Jayhawks today. Norm Roberts, the interim coach, who, of course, former head coach and stepped in Self's place when he served a 4-game suspension to start this season earlier, would be the interim coach today. It was announced immediately following KU's win that Self will not coach at all in the Big 12 tournament, that he underwent a standard procedure and is resting at the University of Kansas Health System. Bill Self releasing a statement himself that read, "I am very grateful for the overwhelming number of well wishes my family and I have received. I'm excited to get back with my team in the very near future." So it was with that hanging over the heads of the Jayhawks that they took the floor today, and it could be understood why they might have started a little bit sluggishly. It wasn't really a bright start for either KU or West Virginia, but the Mountaineers did seize a 14-11 lead about midway through the first half, and then KU hit the gas. They would go on an 18-2 run, led by as many as 13 points in the first half, ended up taking an 8-point lead into the locker room at 31-23. Jalen Wilson really outstanding for the Jayhawks in that first half. He and DeJuan Harris were the focal points of the offense, combining for 19 of KU's 31. In the second half, West Virginia is just such a stubborn team. They're hard to beat. They've got veteran guys. That horn means we're an hour away from tip-off of the next game, in case you're wondering, as they start to let people back into the T-Mobile Center as we speak. But West Virginia, though they got to within 4 on at least one occasion, I think 2 different occasions, they got within 4 of Kansas in the second half. KU just kept them at arm's length, and then they put together a run of their own late with KJ Adams punctuating a 7-0 run with a slam dunk off a half-court alley-oop pass from DeJuan Harris. That made it a 14-point KU game, and they were able to kind of stretch their legs from there. West Virginia didn't get any closer than 9 over the final 5 minutes. KU ends up winning it by 17, 78-61. Jalen Wilson got his Big 12 Player of the Year trophy before the game and played like the Big 12 Player of the Year in this game. 22 points, 11 rebounds, still struggling from behind the arc, just 1 of 4 in his 3-pointers, but an efficient 22 points on 17 shots, also had a couple of assists. Grady Dick got going. That was huge. Of course, he was kind of anonymous in the loss to Texas that wrapped up the Big 12 regular season, but the Jayhawks got Grady going, especially in the second half. He finished with 18 points, knocked down 4 of his 7 3-point baskets attempted on the night. DeJuan Harris, superlative game. I have long said it is this simple for Kansas. When DeJuan Harris doesn't play well, KU can get beat by anybody. When DeJuan Harris plays a good game, KU can beat anybody. And if DeJuan Harris plays a great game, KU can beat everybody. And he played a great game today, filling up the stat sheet. 13 points, 8 assists, 5 steals, and 4 rebounds. A couple of those assists were highlight reel, including the half-court alley-oop to KJ Adams. That was kind of an exclamation point as the second half wound down. Really fine game for DeJuan Harris. He was back playing confidently. He was 6 of 11 from the field, missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts. But again, the confidence to shoot is almost as important as the results for Harris. Played a very composed, controlled, and confident point guard game. It was a big part of the reason why KU won this. One other Jayhawk in double figures, it was KJ Adams dunking the ball with some authority tonight. He finished with 13 points and threatened to tear the rim off the backboard on a couple of those occasions. Really good game for KJ Adams tonight as well. Joseph Yesufu started this game in place of Kevin McCullough. There was some question, McCullough dealing with some back spasms, whether he would even go today. He ended up coming off the bench, and he played 26 minutes, scoring 3 points. Joseph Yesufu started in his stead, scored 7 points in his 16 minutes of action, but for the most part in the second half, it was McCullough. Apparently that back must have loosened up enough for McCullough to play his normal load of minutes in the second half of this game, and that was vital for the Jayhawks. West Virginia had 4 in double figures as well. Eric Stevenson led the way with 13 points. Joe Toussaint, Trey Mitchell each had 11. Emmett Matthews Jr. with 10. Trey Mitchell was kind of held in check by foul trouble. Picked up a third pretty early in the second half. Picked up a fourth about midway through the second half and wasn't on the floor for long stretches of this game. Only ended up playing 25 minutes, and West Virginia needed him on the floor much longer than that. Takeaway from this one for KU, you have to be able to lock in and stay focused when things around you are hard. And it would have been understandable. Today is a hard day for those KU players and coaches to have some, I would imagine, some early uncertainty about the health of their head coach. But it sounds like things are good with Bill Self. That he is resting comfortably at University of Kansas Medical Center. He will not coach the remainder of the Big 12 tournament, but Norm Roberts, a veteran coach and longtime assistant, and Jayhawks appear to be in good hands with him. And if they get that level of play from Jalen Wilson and DeJuan Harris, no reason they can't repeat as Big 12 tournament champions and add that trophy to their regular season Big 12 championship. Again, the final score, Kansas 78, West Virginia 61, KU and Iowa State tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in one of the 2 semifinals. Still to come tonight in Kansas City, Oklahoma State taking on Texas, and then the late game, Kansas State and TCU. I'll be back after that one late night if you're still up with a post-game instant reaction on this very same YouTube channel. So I hope you'll join me then. But for now, this is Dan Lucero signing off from T-Mobile Center in Kansas City and the 2023 Big 12 Basketball Championship.